I have a voice.
This is the world through my eyes.
Where people and events impact us.
And have the power to change.
I am one of those people.
I am one of those people.
I will never stop learning.
And never stop questioning.
This is my promise.
I have a voice.
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 And this is our forum.
They say we've come a long way. Well, let's ask the question today. How does the mass media portray women and girls? Where is there room for improvement? And does the media affect how girls feel about themselves? We'll be talking about all of that and more today on The Forum. I'm your host, Tierra Fair. First, I'd like to welcome our panel of students here today, all from Cab Calloway School of the Arts. We have seniors Emily Allen and Davina Woolley, and Maddie Washington, who is in the 8th grade, and 7th grader Georgia Kelly. How are you guys today?
I'm good. Good, pretty good.
Cool. I'm glad to have you guys. I guess that we should just get right into it. So our first question, I'd like to know, how are you aware of how the media portrays women and girls? And what do you think about it?
Well, I think definitely just from the years that I've really been watching TV, interested in today's society and things like that, I can already see that we have come a long way with stronger female leads, and it's a much better world to see, all the strong female characters now instead of strong male leads.
That's cool. What do you guys think?
I know for me, I wasn't really conscious of, I don't know, TV in that way, but I know in the past couple years, TV has changed a lot, and there's more shows and more well-rounded characters, you know, like I watch Orange is the New Black, and it's just like how many dynamic characters are in that.
Yeah, that's
that
pretty
are female,
awesome.
and it's a huge change.
Okay. What do you think?
Oh, well, honestly, same thing like Emily was saying. We have like much stronger leads and many more dynamics than women.
Okay. Georgia, you have an opinion?
Yeah, I agree with the rest of you girls, because I feel like we used to be, we've come a long way from not barely doing anything to now we have a lot of us have
like bigger roles,
yeah.
right? So like I think what you're really saying is like before women were only seen as like housewives or like the loving daughter, but they weren't ever
and stayed home and cooked. But now, like it's backwards. My dad stays home and cooked, and my mom goes out and does everything.
That's pretty cool. So you think it kind of portrays real life, like what's happening in the world now? Now the roles are different between men and women too, right? Yeah, I think that's pretty cool. The mass media, especially children's television, provide more positive role models for girls than ever before. Kids shows like Dora the Explorer and The Magic School Bus feature strong female characters who interact with the boys on equal footing. A study of media favored by teenage girls found a similar proportion of male and female characters on TV and in the movies rely on themselves to achieve their goals and solve their own problems. The television shows like Bones and Battlestar Galactica and computer games such as Mirror's Edge and Portal Star, girls and women who are physically assertive and in control. So, who are your role models on TV and in the movies? I know you said, Jordan, that your favorite TV show was Full House earlier.
Yes.
Yes. So is that like, are those your favorite TV stars, or do you have some other ones?
My favorite TV star is the Olsen twins.
Really?
Of course.
Yeah. They haven't made TV in a little while, but they were really great when they were younger. They were like really wholesome.
I have every episode of every season on my phone.
Okay, well that's a really great role models to have, because they were doing good, especially then. What about you guys? Who are your role models on TV and movies?
I guess Kerry Washington.
I
Yeah.
love her too.
Yeah. I remember watching a bunch of her old movies, like, and you just, when she would play small characters, I know in the Fantastic Four, she played just like the female love interest. And now just to see her now, and she's starring in Scandal, and she's just got all this power, and it's just, I don't know, it's just so, I don't know how to say it. Like, her character is successful and intellectual, and she stands on her own, and it's just, it's nice, you know, just to see.
And to see her evolve and acting, like, so like you were saying, she went from being like not so important characters or roles that weren't strong women to having a strong woman role. That's cool. What about you?
One actor, one character I really love is Black Widow in the Avengers. She's so cool.
That's a good one.
I mean, I box and whatnot, so I love seeing female characters that can really just take care of themselves, and characters like Black Widow like inspired me to be able to do that. So.
What about, do you know Jessica Alba? Like, I love her when she plays, because she always plays like someone who's like fighting or kicking butt. I like that too.
So cool.
So what about you? You have any favorite?
I would go from a book series. I cannot remember the girl's name. But I know her book name, Katniss Everdeen.
Oh, The Hunger Games!
What is her name?
Jennifer Lawrence.
Thank you.
Yes.
Jennifer Lawrence. I love her. Because, like, it's just, I can't wait to see second part.
Did you see it already?
No.
I saw it on Friday.
I want to
It's
cry.
really good.
I'm going to see it on Wednesday.
I really won't cry. Like.
Yeah, Jennifer Lawrence is pretty awesome. I think I like her a lot. Yeah. I like her a whole lot. But despite the progress, studies show that there is still a long way to go. Women represent 49% of the population, but only 39% of the characters on TV. Studies have found, as far as quality goes, the media still conforms to the stereotype image of a woman. A huge study done in 2008 found that, in general, girls and women are motivated by love and romance and appears to be less independent than boys. Have you ever watched TV shows and movies and thought about how the girls were behaving?
Yes.
Obviously, you have some feelings about this.
Even just with The Hunger Games, it's not so prevalent in that movie series, but a lot of dystopian type genres, you can really see the female characters, like, oh, even if it's a female lead, she's still caught in a love triangle with the two boys, and it's kind of upsetting because it's almost like every movie that has a female character has to have a love interest, and I feel like that's not accurate.
Yeah, that's true. But you know what I do like? I know this sounds crazy, but usually okay, so I'm going to date myself a little bit. I'm a little older than you guys. So before, when I was younger, the boys were the only ones that have a love triangle. So I know that sounds crazy, but even though The Hunger Games, I don't like the fact that she should just be awesome by herself without PETA or the other guy.
Dale.
But I really do like the fact that that she's the one that gets to pick between the boys instead of the boy always picking. Like, I hate that part of it. Yeah. So, like, what do you think about, like, girls behaving in, like,
I feel
on TV?
I mean, you're just talking about Black Widow, and I know even in the last Avengers, like, she was caught up in the whole, do I date the Hulk, or what am I doing there? And it's like, you know, and I feel like it's not just TV. It's like, I know a lot of magazines, like, it'll be like a ridiculously underclothed person, you know, on a cover, and it's like, who does that? You know, like, no one just goes out like that.
That's
and true. It's just like, it's just like, I don't know.
So it's not your favorite,
right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What about you guys, Maddie?
Oh. Wait, what was the question again?
So basically, what do you think about how girls behave in movies and television?
Well, a lot of girls in television, especially like Bad Girls Club, and
you watch that show?
No, I do not anymore.
Anymore? You're
and
reformed.
Atlanta's housewives and stuff like that, they really don't know how to control themselves at all. Like, you have younger girls watching it because their parents watch it or their sister watches it. Like, that's not cool. Honestly, you're like 35 still talking about, well, I'm gonna beat you up and this, that, and the other. No, you need to sit down and read a book. Like, for real, like, it's really annoying, honestly.
Do you think that's real life? Like, are they portraying, like, what's really happening?
Honestly, no. Because, like, in reality TV, they usually stop the cameras and tell you, well, do that again and say this to get it rowdied up. No, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm just going to keep going.
Yeah. And do you think that, like, other, like, some of your friends or people you go to high school with or something might act that same way as just because they saw it on TV and they think it's okay?
Well, not necessarily with that, but you do see, like, similar types of behaviors, like women, like, in cat fights and whatnot when they're, like, you see a lot where there's the whole struggle, like, oh my God, I bet my boyfriend is cheating on me, that whole thing that's, like, definitely glamorized on TV where men will have affairs, which also isn't necessarily truth and whatnot, but it makes a lot of girls, you see them get really overjealous and protective, and they, like, will act out about it, and you really don't need to make it a public scene.
Yeah.
You know?
Do you guys watch the Disney Channel at all?
Yeah.
You raised your hand quickly. What's your favorite show on there? Because I have little sisters that are 9 and 11, so they're younger than you guys, but they're definitely into the Disney Channel, and I hate the way some of the shows, because they're supposed to be for kids, and then some of the girls are talking about boyfriends and the 7th grade because they saw it on TV. Like, do you see that? And
yeah, a lot of my, like, a few of my friends aren't allowed to watch Disney Channel because they call each other, like, dumb and stupid, and they have little sisters or brothers who don't want them to walk around the house saying that. But I just like watching it because my favorite one is Shake It Up, because it has the two main girls who don't, I mean, there are boy characters, but there's not love between them.
That's good. So they're just friends, because I think like when you're that age, you should just be friends.
Yeah. And like other Disney Channel shows, like Liv and Maddie and such, there's always the boyfriend Diggy, who's always in that episode, and that annoys me. So I like to watch the ones that don't have boys in them.
That's cool. I agree. I like that. You're good. You're good. You're good. What about, we were talking earlier about Frozen and like other Disney, but the reason why I was like, I love Frozen because Frozen, the girl character in the movie didn't have to fall in love because her sister's love was good enough. And so, like, what do you guys think about movies like that and how we start turning to movies that Disney, especially like fun movies that we always talk about that everyone watches that have less.
Finding Nemo.
Finding Nemo?
Yes. Finding Dory is about to come out.
Finding Dory. Yeah, and that's going to be, and even though it's not, I mean, it's a cartoon, but it's still women. Like, it's still a girl main character, and I think that's pretty awesome.
Right. And even though, like, she has the thing where she can't remember anything except for P. Sherman, 42 Wallaby Way. Everyone loves her. Like, that's everyone's favorite character.
Yeah.
Because Dory.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. So the only medium where girls are overrepresented now are magazines. However, their content is overwhelmingly focused on topics such as appearance and dating and fashion. Do you guys look at magazines?
Try not to anymore. It used to be a big thing when I was in middle school to have magazines like Teen Vogue and Glamour and things like that. And it was, my friends were always into it, and I never really was because I never thought it was important. I mean, all of it was the same fashion article about, you know, things that a 12-year-old really shouldn't care about when you're sitting at camp and about to go play in the woods and whatnot. I feel like having so much dependence on your appearance, what you look like presented to girls at such a young age, like magazines specifically geared for young teens, it's almost unhealthy because it's saying like, oh, you got to make sure you look your best, and it's not necessary.
Yeah, I agree. What about you?
I do like magazines. I don't know. I read Marie Claire just because I like the fashion of it, and I don't know. I agree that like I do a lot of like graphic design and Photoshop, things like that, and every now and then you go on the internet and you'll see like how they Photoshop them, and it's really disgusting. And sometimes like celebrities will come out and be like, hey, this isn't my body, this isn't my face.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm conscious of that when I look at that, and I'm not flipping through like, hey, I want to look like these people. It's just, I distinguish between the two, but I get like a lot of people just don't, and then they're, you know, searching for that, but I mean, I like it.
Yeah, I think you're
I really like it. It's like
I'm not normally allowed, like when I go to the grocery store and we're paying for the food and everything, you'll see all the magazines that are like, so and so broke up with so and so, and we don't, like, my family doesn't buy magazines like that. My mom reads Better Home and Garden magazines and looks at all those furniture, I guess. But the only magazine I've ever probably looked through is like that I've actually enjoyed maybe was when I was 9 and I read the American Girl magazines.
Okay. Yeah. Well, 9 was a long time ago, so I understand.
I just don't like them because a lot of them don't have true facts in them, or the ones that my friends read now don't have true facts in them, or they're just wasted time. Like, I don't know why people read them.
Well, I mean, what do you guys think? If the magazines only show fashion and dating, all that stuff, then and only talk about your appearance, what do you think about the girls reading them? Like, they're thinking that their appearance is the only thing that really matters, right?
Yeah.
Does that ever make you feel that way? Like when you're reading?
I know I've definitely seen. I've always been a really independent person. Growing up, I had 3 older brothers, and you know, they were tough on me. And so
I can only imagine.
I always tried my hardest to, I don't know, kind of live up to how independent they were. And so reading through magazines never affected me, but I know I saw a lot of my friends get super concerned with boys and fashion and whatnot. You're in 6th grade, like, doesn't really matter. I just feel like there can be so much more substance that you can give to a person that's not appearance. I feel like magazines can have facts about science and math to get people interested in that and less interested in what you have to look like everybody else.
Yeah, I really wish that we would talk about more of that in magazines. Like if they would talk about the science between the makeup and like how it was created and how to like create your own makeup line instead of just how to make your face have the winged eyeliner like Adele.
Well, actually, I used to, when I was in elementary school, every Friday we would have to read this magazine. I forget what it was called, like Scholastic something. And at the end, the last page, there was always a situation that we had to try and figure out.
Yeah.
And some of the time, it would be like my friend cheated on a test, but I remember one of the situations was a girl who all of her friends all had a crush on the boy of her grade. But the boy had a crush on the girl who didn't. And then she felt like so obligated to have a crush on him, but then she didn't, and everyone hated her for it.
And why did you like that one? Why do you remember that one so well?
Because it kind of made me think that girls could like just say no.
Yeah.
I don't want to.
That's true. Girls can say no. Yeah. And that's pretty awesome that you feel it. It is really hard, especially if like all your friends are doing it. It makes it weird, but that's awesome that you saw that and you picked that up, that like girls can say no. They can say, no, I don't like you. And that's okay. For
research indicates that mixed messages from the media make it more difficult for girls to transition to adulthood. Girls' confidence frequently drops in the preteen years as they begin to base their feelings of self-worth more and more heavily on appearance and weight. So do you and we kind of already talked a little bit about it, but like, do your friends feel like they need to look like models in the magazines, or are they dressing like that? I think you said that some of them are, right?
It was a lot more in middle school, and I think a lot of that comes from the type of school we're at.
Middle school at CAB?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think a lot of people grew out of it because at CAB you're really encouraged to be yourself, to be who you are, because we are an art school, and you have to find your passion there and whatnot. And so I think a lot of people stopped doing that, but I know at other public high schools it is a huge issue, and you can, even if you just like look in the news, how many girls are suffering from eating disorders and depression, things like that, that are severely impacted because of their low self-esteem from feeling like they don't belong and don't fit in with the people around them. And I think that media does have a lot of weight in that. I feel like it wouldn't be so hard to feel like you fit in if you're not expected to follow these fashion magazines and all these cool trends.
Yeah. Well, actually, like, Dr. Hawking, our assistant principal, keeps threatening the middle school during lunch that we're going to get uniforms next year.
Yo, he really said some crazy stuff, though, when he was bringing it up. He was like, you guys aren't creative. I was like,
yeah, I remember.
Well, thanks.
Well, actually, one of my best friends, Olivia, she's really crazy, but I love her.
Wait, she's gonna watch this and see it. Okay, so why did he say about why is he threatening you guys with uniforms? And is that a threat? Is that scary for you guys?
Because a lot of the girls in our school who think that they're supermodels and will come to school and break the dress code, and now they're gonna mess it all up for the whole middle school and maybe even high school.
Yep, high school too.
So you guys have a dress code. What
it's pretty loose.
Happen in the dress code? Like why?
They break it like every day. There's not
ridiculous.
one person
It's
like they wear skirts that are like really short because they saw it in the magazine or was on sale. Like everything that's on sale you see in the magazine does not go with everybody. Like TV.
Yeah.
Not everybody looks good on TV.
But
certain things like
I feel like everyone should be able to come to school. And I mean, there are boundaries where you can't come to school wearing a crop top or a belly shirt, as Dr. Hawking calls it.
A belly shirt.
But still be able to express their own appearance and their traits, I guess. Because like my elementary school, we had to wear uniforms, and Olivia came to school and took duct tape and wrapped it around her whole body and was like, "I'm being me."
That's pretty awesome. But I guess for me, I'm saying, what does that say to girls if like because most of the uniform violations probably happen to girls, right? Because they're
I mean, we used to have a thing where having your shoulders out were out of dress code, and I'd have my shoulders out, and then there'd be a guy off to the side wearing basically the exact same shirt, and I'm going up to the office, you know.
So he would wear it's like a tank top and
and the thing is, they'd just be like
muscle shirts,
wide tank tops and whatnot, and that's inappropriate.
But you kind of get it, because like we were just talking about how, you know, women sometimes are dressed inappropriately in magazines and on TV, and people see that, like girls see that, and they're like, hey, you know, this is what I see, this is what I want to be, and then they come out to do that. And I kind of get the school being like, hey, you know, this isn't okay, there's a time and a place, but you know.
Do you think it should be equal though? Like,
I think it's
girls can't wear their shoulders out, boys should be like no walking around at the gym.
Technically, that was the rule. It just it wasn't enforced as often with guys as it was girls. And like now we have a thing where it's like no tight fitting clothing. And I'm not even sure what that means.
Because I see a couple of boys around our school and a couple of girls that wear either tight shirts or tight pants. And I'm just like, excuse me, what are you doing? Like,
I mean, that's in right now. I think, like, especially guys, like the skinny jeans. So, like,
how did they even get in those things? Our athletes at our school, like, they have these massive calves.
Well,
and they fit into the skinny jeans. I'm just like,
I think the problem is when it's not fair.
Right.
So,
Especially if you have, there's also dress codes where it's like, hey, it has to be but so many inches above your knee. And I mean, if you're tall, then, it's,
Yeah, that makes sense. Because I'm sure they're not checking boys, like, their short length, are they?
And plus, it's hard to find girls' clothing that reaches your knee.
That's true.
Because a lot of the stuff they're making now is
all of my dresses are like here, mid-thigh. And like I don't think that's inappropriate, especially if you're wearing, stockings under it or something. I don't think that's wrong because you're not showing anything. Obviously I understand a mini skirt.
Yeah.
But I feel like
it's hard to find. Like in the summertime when it becomes May and when it starts getting warm outside, I go to the store to find some shorts. I can't find almost anything that actually comes down to here.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I can go up to Dr. and be like, hey, how are you? Without him saying no.
Well, we're about to wrap up, guys. Like this was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun. In a landmark 1988 study, it was suggested that this happens because of the widening gap between girls' self-images and society's messages about what girls should be like. Children's Now points out that girls are surrounded by images of female beauty that are unrealistic and unattainable. And yet 2 out of 3 girls who are participated in their national media survey said they wanted to look like a character on TV. So have you or your friends ever wished you guys talked about this, how you wish that you were on television? Or that you looked like a person on television? It sounds like you guys are pretty set. Like you're like, no, I have my own person.
Yeah, it's probably kind of just a cab thing. They kind of enforce individuality, and it's like be who you are.
Yeah. Well, I like last year, I can specifically remember trying to look exactly like another girl in my grade. I honestly went out and bought the same shoes as she had.
Okay, so we at EdTV, we are trying to portray girls at equal footing. We are in pre-production of a show called Girls 101, and I'm going to be the host. I'm so excited. Nice. That we plan to feature local and national role models to young women. So what do you guys think? Does that sound like a good idea?
Sounds awesome.
Sure. That sounds like a great idea.
You guys are going to watch, right?
Yeah. Of course.
We're going to make sure you're on it. That's all we have time for today. I'd like to thank all of my panelists. I thank you guys so much here on the forum, and look soon for Girls 101. I'm your host, Tierra Fair. Thank you guys so much for watching.